Evening. Welcome everyone. It is 7:15, and if you happen to be watching this, my name is Dominic. I am going to be guiding you through a flow tonight. Typically this would be done in the hot room, but in lieu of all the things happening in the world, our hot rooms are now all of our rooms. So I'm live from my house, so you may hear some background noises because life is happening around me. I suspect it's the same for you in wherever you are. So we're all kind of making adjustments in this new landscape as we figure it out. But our mats is where we should be, grounded and ready to start our practice for this evening. Tonight's class is going to be focused on back body work. So we're going to be touching a lot of poses and different things that work the back side of our body and really try to strengthen those areas that we don't really touch into very often. So to get started, I'd like you to lie down on your mat. Take a moment as we come to lie down just to get grounded. Maybe tuck the chin into the chest. You can keep the soles of the feet on the mat. Maybe let the knees fall out, coming into a butterfly pose. Or you can extend the legs out long, taking a traditional shavasana. Just kind of finding whatever works for you. Allow the arms to either go out by your sides. Maybe you prefer to have them reach overhead, grabbing for opposite wrists or elbows. But as you lie on the mat, allow your body to become heavy. Allow yourself to sink and soften into the mat. Maybe the eyes close. And maybe you just start to settle, finding a bit of peace, a little bit of comfort. Trying to allow the thoughts and the worries of the day to take a back seat to this moment, to take a back seat to your breath, take a back seat to you focusing in on your body. Having a home practice can be a very nourishing thing as a yoga student. I love the community of my studio and spending real time with my students, but on the same token, I like just being able to come to my mat and practice whenever I see fit. And so as we learn to make lemonade out of lemons, maybe you too can start to find some value in having this home practice. Allow your breath to rise and fall, and let your attention notice that awareness, what's happening around you as you breathe. If you have an intention for class that you want to set, maybe that's a word or a phrase or a mantra, something that you can use to guide you through your practice. Allow it to enter your stream of consciousness. Just make it a part of where you are right now. Maybe the mouth closes and the breath starts to come out of the nostrils, adding a slight constriction to the back of the throat, turning on Ujjayi breath, victorious breath. It's almost an ocean-like sound that you get from the breath. Helps to create a meditative and calming effect. When paired with the movements, this becomes rhythmic to the body and to the mind. And the body and the mind loves rhythm. All of ourselves coming in sync helps us to relax and soften and calm our nervous system. Draw your knees into your chest. Hands can come behind the thighs, maybe onto the shins. Maybe you give yourself a really big hug coming into a little ball. Maybe you rotate the ankles out a bit, a little side to side action. Just a nice big hug. Forehead maybe draws up towards the knees a bit. Allow the soles of the feet to come onto the mat. And find yourself in a seated position. Maybe you have to readjust as you come into this shape. Start with the fingertips facing the back of the mat, toes pointing forward. And we're just going to take a couple reverse tabletops, really to start activating that back body like we talked about. Press down through the fingertips. And on your inhale, let your hips lift, push down into the feet, and allow the heart to go up towards the ceiling. Eye gaze can look up in a neutral position. As you exhale, hips lower down. Everything comes back to center. When you go up on this next one, I want you to think about pushing and driving the feet into the mat. So much so that the hamstrings start to turn on and they start to activate that back body. Inhale, lift and rise. Remembering to breathe, not just hold the pose, but can you hold the pose with breath and steadiness? Lower down. And by steadiness, I mean as steady as you can be when you're moving up and down and out throughout the pose. Hi, Harley. That's my cat, Harley. She likes to show up, usually when I'm doing something. So, inhale, hips lift. Press and rise down through the hands. Push the heart up a little bit more. Relax the head and neck, maybe. See if you can find some steadiness here. Lower all the way down. Turn the fingertips forward now. Keeping the same position, we're going to continue into the next reverse tabletop. Exact same thing. On the inhale, hips lift. Notice what happens when the fingertips turn forward, what that does to the shoulder, how that affects the pose. Same pose, different stretch. Lower down. Reposition if you need to. Take an inhale breath. Lift and rise. Lower down. Inhale. Rise. Lower all the way down. Turn the fingertips back around towards the back of the mat. And we're going to add a bit of movement. Same action, but this time with a little more movement. On your inhale, hips lift. Right hand reaches up towards the ceiling. Press down through the left hand. Eye gaze looks down at the left thumb. Drive the feet into the ground. Squeeze the glutes to lift up a little higher. Lower down. Right hand comes down. Inhale. Reverse. This is the same action you would do in a wild thing, but here we're taking it from a much lower stance. Hips lower down, fingertips around. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Cross at the ankles. Come into an easy seat. From here, we are going to just take a nice, gentle twist. Lift up through the spine as you exhale. Turn to the right. Left hand on the outside of the right thigh or right knee. Eye gaze looks over right shoulder. Don't forget to breathe. When you show up in the pose, can you try to find a bit of balance between work and breath? Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Right hand on left thigh. Look over left shoulder. Make adjustments if you need to help you find your depth. Know that just because you come into a pose doesn't mean you can't alter the shape to make it work for you. Turn back to center. Shift forward. Come into a tabletop position. So fingertips face forward. Hips stack over knees. You're on all fours here, right? That's the action. That's the shape. Couple cat-cows. Inhale, belly drops. Eye gaze lifts up as you exhale. Chin tucks. Tailbone draws down and in. You push them out away. You find space on the exhale. Really hollowing out the middle of the body. Inhale. Reverse. Take it back. Exhale. Find your movements on the exhales. Really trying to push them out away like you don't want to touch it. On your inhale, so you want to drop and tilt that pelvis forward. Pull your shoulders back and reach your eyes towards the front of your mat. Exhale. Slowly, once you come through that next cat-cow process, you'll come to neutral, come to lie down onto your mat. Untuck the toes. Rest the chin on the mat. Reach the hands by your side. Starting with a little bit of locust pose tonight. Nice and early. Wake up that back body real quick. You're going to start to point through your toes. Do so much that maybe your knees start to lift off the ground. Chin can stay right where it's at for now. Just see how much work it takes to get the knees off the ground. Lower the knees back down. On your inhale, start to lift your chest. Leave the hands by your side, right? Notice the work it takes to lift the chest. Reach your fingertips back so you pull your shoulder blades down and out of your ears. Reach your head forward. Yep, maybe your eye gaze is down. Press your pelvis into the mat. See if that helps. Small breaths into the chest. And then you lower down. Right? So think about what it took to lift the chest, what it took to lift the feet. And on this next round, I want you to do both, right? Add activation into both places. See how it feels. The more you point to your toes and reach your hands back, the more space you can find. On your inhale breath, press everything down in the center of your body. Lift your feet, lift your hands. Look forward or look down, but keep reaching either way. Reaching, 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 and lower down. Once you've got your calming breaths, you come back to center. Hands come in line with the chest, fingertips forward. We're going to press up the plank. If you need to come through to tabletop first, that's totally fine, but take an inhale and push all the way up. Fine plank pose. First plank of the night, fingertips face forward, active and strong. Weight is bearing down on the index and thumb. Elbows drawing back behind you so that the eye of the elbow faces forward. Eye gaze looking down, nice and long. Squeeze your inner thighs. Draw your ribs towards your pubic bone. Press out through your heels. Find a smooth and steady breath. When you find your next exhale, bend your knees and let them hover. See how my knees are not touching the ground? Don't let them touch the ground. If you get this right, you should feel this start to work the core. Draw right knee, right elbow. Bring it back. Left knee, left elbow. Bring it back. Right to right, left to left. Oh yeah, a little slow mountain climber action. That's always fun. Stop, hold, draw hips up and back, down, dog. First one of class. Anytime you come here, if you feel you need a child's pose instead, do that, honor that. The nice thing about this is I can't see you, so I'm trusting that you're doing what I'm asking you to. But what I always ask anyway, even if I could see you, is for you to do what feels good in your body tonight. What's right for you. Find the pose that works best for you. If you're not pedaling out the legs, invite that opportunity to do that. Maybe lift the leg, take a three-legged dog, open it up, rotate the ankle, put it down. Play with what feels good in your down dog. A little movement, come back to your stillness. Take an inhale, round forward, find your plank. Take an exhale, bend your knees, draw your hips up. Find your down dog. Round forward, high on the balls of the feet. Weight shifts forward. Roll it around. If you get a little movement, a little rhythm, you start rolling it through. Don't worry about how it looks. See if you can enjoy how it feels. Stopping in down dog. Lift the balls of the feet or the heels. Start to tiptoe. Work yourself all the way to the front of your mat. Fold it down. Let the head hang heavy. Grab opposite elbows. Maybe even reach for opposite wrists here. Silly microphone. Wants to be all up in the business. So yeah, you're just allowing yourself, your head to hang heavy here. Not really worrying about much. Maybe swaying from side to side. Inhale, come all the way up. Rise, reach the hands overhead. Find some Urdhva, reaching up, reaching forward, extending long. As you exhale, hands to the heart center. Just take a moment to feel the heartbeat here in this pose. Stillness is with you every moment, every minute of the day. Sometimes you just have to find it. We get so lost in what's happening around us that it gets missed. Inhale, reach up. Sun Salutation A, Surya Namaskar. Exhale, fold. With variations, of course. Exhale, bring it down. Bring the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers. Start to stretch the hands. Maybe you come to a half lift so your head draws forward, your hips go back, and you start to reach back like you would in locust pose with the heart. Trying to lift. So it's this counteraction of the hands reaching back and the heart coming up. But you're not going to stand. You're going to kind of hold about middle of the mat. You should start to feel this in your hamstrings. Lower back down. Palms come onto the mat. Step your right foot back. Step your left foot back. Find your plank pose. Round through the shoulders, actively push the mat away. Squeeze the thighs, lower the knees down. Then lower your chest and chin down. Untuck your toes. Pull your heart through. Find an upward facing dog or seal pose. Push the mat away. Tuck the toes. Draw the hips up. Find down dog. As soon as you get here, lift your right leg. Bend your right knee, open your right hip. Don't sink into your left shoulder. We're not doing this. You could do this, but we're not doing this. Lift your left elbow off the ground. Right foot steps through. Wiggle your left toes back. Find your runner's lunge. Crown of the head reaches forward. You're really trying to be long here and active. Left hand on the block, like so. On your fingertips, like so, or all the way on your palm. Turn toes to the right, reach right hand up, take a twist. Reach your right hand back if you want. Come all the way back around. Step your left leg up to meet your right. Find your forward fold. Reverse on your inhale breath. Hold at the top. Exhale. Hands to heart center. Inhale. Bring it back up. Exhale. Let the hands come behind your back this time. We're going to take it all the way from the top. Inhale. Heart reaches up. Hands interlace. As you exhale, hips go back. You're reaching your heart forward, reaching your heart forward. And pause when you start to feel the hamstrings activate and look down. So now you're long in the spine with the hands reaching back. Keep going as you exhale and let go. Come all the way down. Hands can stay behind the back. If this is way too intense, just release the hands. It's totally fine. Bring them in front of you. Or for some of us with more shoulder mobility, you can start to draw the hands off the low back. Start to reach them overhead. Even though your head is continuously moving back, your hands are going up and over, stretching through the shoulders. Slowly bring the hands down onto the mat and release. Step your left foot back and then your right. Find your plank pose. Get your length here. Push, push, stay active, stay strong. Lots of times we get here and we're just like, I'll just hang out. No, I don't want you to hang out. I want you to work for it. Push the mat away. Lower knees, chest, chin. Toes untuck. Breath brings you up. All the way up. Up dog or Sphinx pose. Toes tuck. Hips go up. Find down dog. Left leg. Inhale reaches. Exhale bends knee, opens hip. Notice I'm high on my left fingertips, totally acceptable. Just, again, try to avoid dumping into that right shoulder. Exhale. Helps bring the left foot through. Wiggle the right toes back if you need to. Length through the spine. Low ribs down and in. Left hand reaches up. Maybe turn both toes to the left. Lower down. Add a little bit of a hip stretch. It's kind of up to you. Come all the way out. Bring that left hand down. Step that right foot back. Find your down. Your forward fold, not your down dog. You can be down dog, but it's not what we're doing right now. Inhale, reverse. Come all the way up. Reach up, go up, extend up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, reverse, taking some half salutations. Just to add movement to breath. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. For this next thing we're going to do, I need you to step not all the way up to the front of your mat, so give yourself some distance. We're going to play around with a little bit of core work, a little bit of core activation drills here. That'll be fun and exciting. Not really, but it'll be fun either way. I like to think it's fun. No one else thinks it's fun. I don't know why people don't like my version of fun. I think it's great. Anywho, inhale, hands come up and overhead. As you exhale, start to bend your knees. Find your chair pose, Utkatasana, awkward chair pose. Draw the tailbone under, right? Just down and under. Hands reach up. Keep extending. Sit a little bit lower. Try to put the weight into your heels if you can. Keep reaching, keep reaching. Hands, it's going to be harder when your hands are out like this. If you bring them here, it might feel a little better. Do whatever work feels good for you. Start to lift your heels. Start to lower down. Lower down. So the hips go back and the hands go forward as you lower down. So you're kind of in this, almost this low toe squat position. Knees forward, toes tucked. Now you are in toe squat. Untuck the toes. Feet go flat. Camel preparation pose. We're not doing camel. Knees are roughly hips distance apart. All the engagement of camel. Draw your tailbone in. Lift your sternum up. Reach your hands back. Maybe you squeeze the fist to add more activation. Press the hips forward, and start to lean back. Now, it doesn't matter if your head goes all the way down. That's not the point. Just lean back as far as it's comfortable for you, and then come back to center. Tuck your toes. Use your hands here if you need to. Try to get the knees off the ground. Just like this. When you inhale, do so right back into chair pose, elevated. Heels lifted, shaking. All right, that's the action. Exhale, lower down, break parallel, reach the hips back, reach the hands forward, come down, lower knees down, untuck the toes, press the hips forward, lift the heart up, lean back, go back, come up, toes tuck, toes stand, elevated with the knees, draw it up, find your chair pose, squeeze your inner thighs, lots of leg work happening. We like it if the engagement's there. Break parallel, start to come down. Reach the hands forward, hips back, hands forward, hips back. That's the name of the game. Lower the knees down. Whoa. If you lose your balance, that's cool. Untuck the toes. Press forward, lift up. Start to lean back, lean back. Maybe you go back, all the way back. Tuck the toes. Lift the knees. Ooh. Find your Utkatasana. Last one. Keep that activation. I know it's shaking. I know it's work, but that's okay. Stand all the way up. Cactus the arms. Exhale. Release. Feel a little bit of heat that you got going. Keep it moving. Inhale. Draw it up. Exhale. Bring it down. Start to shift forward. Come onto the balls of your feet. Bend your knees. Knees come real high. Up into the armpits if you can get them. Or squeeze them on the outside of the thighs. Fingertips face forward. Once you're here, lift your hips. Dome your back. Eye gaze looks out in front of you. Shift your weight. Shift your weight. Shift your weight. Maybe your feet lift. Just like that. I'm not even engaging my legs. I'm leaning. That's all just from pushing the mat away. Since you're at home, grab a pillow, put it right here. So if you fall on your face, it doesn't hurt. I can't see you, so I won't laugh at you. Not that I would anyway, but it's less of a concern when you're at home. Squeeze and push. Step or hop back into plank pose. Lower down, halfway, chaturanga, untuck the toes, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts and goes up, Exhale, bends right knee. High on the ball of the left foot. As you exhale, step it through. Drop that left foot 45 degrees. Virabhadrasana 1. Here we come. Inhale. As you exhale, sit a bit deeper into the pose. Inhale, reaches the hands forward, turns the left toes towards the left side of your mat. Push down into your left heel. Keep this front leg nice and bent if you can. I know it's work. Inhale, straightens that right leg. Oh, that's nice. Now start to bend your left knee and lower your hips down. Find Skandasana. So notice that I'm high on the ball of my left foot. That's an option. Another option is to have that left foot flat. Each variation does a little bit different for the body. So check it out, see what works for you. If you've got a good Skandasana and you don't need to use your hands, you can bind, you can reach it forward, you can do all kinds of interesting things. But this isn't about interesting things. It's about doing things that feel good for you and work for your body right now. And some of those might be interesting. Shift your weight forward, back into that front leg. Reach the hands up. Come all the way back to stand. Nice. Setting you up for triangle pose. Right hand reaches forward and then down. That right hand can come onto a block. If you choose that, don't just do this and reach your hand up. Do this and reach your hand up. If you don't choose a block, that's cool too. Hand can go on your shin. Often we collapse real low here. I prefer for you to find some length in the side body. Reach up. Slowly start to rotate that left hand down. Shift your block out of the way if you're using a block or your book or whatever is substituting as your block. Bring your hands down. From here, it's a shift forward and a lift of the left leg coming into a standing splits. You can reach your hands more forward if that feels good. Start to bend into your right knee. See if you can balance. Come all the way up to stand. Cross that left foot on top of that right thigh for figure 4. And then sit the hips back. From here, this pose sets you up to start your flying pigeon. Ekapada Galavasana. It's not a pose that's super in my practice, but you start to work your way down. You hook the toes on the outside of the tricep, and then you have to wiggle and work some things back, right? And so it's a wiggle and a work and a wiggle and a work, and then a lean and a lean and a lean and a lift, and then you kick that. I would kick my right foot back, but that's about as far as I can go today. So it's fine. Slowly start to stand back up. Float that left leg. Stay here if you want to play with a little bit of dancers pose. Grab inside shin, ankle, foot. Find a bit of length on your inhale. Reach up, go up. Exhale, kick up as you reach out. Draw your left shoulder down your back. Push into your standing leg. Find your breath. Slowly unwind. Come back to Samastitihi. Take some breaths. You've earned them. You deserve them. That's it. As you start to settle down, No. We're going right back into the other side. And then we'll bring it down and do some other things and wrap it up. Inhale, hands come up overhead. Exhale, bend knees, find chair pose. Draw the tailbone down and in. Reach hands up towards the ceiling. Lower all the way down. Lower all the way down. Reach the hips back. Reach them back. Hands come down. Set up for your crow pose if you want to play with crow. Take it up. Maybe that feels good. Ooh. Depending on what you got in you today. Maybe you step or jump back. Plank pose or chaturanga. Lower halfway down. Tuck the toes. Draw the head up. Push through the hands. Stretch the front body. Lift the hips up and back. Down dog. Inhale, left leg goes up. Exhale, bend left knee. Step the left foot through. Turn the right toes out 45. Reach your hands up and overhead. I like to turn my pinkies in so I rotate my shoulders out, opening up through my back, extending up, going up, reaching up. But don't reach so up so much that the front leg straightens yet. Sit a little deeper. Find your warrior two. Open to the right side of your mat. Fingertips forward. Sit a little deeper. Don't slouch your arms. Straighten your arms. Push through your fingers. That's it. Inhale, straightens left leg. Exhale, bends right knee. Find your skandasana. Play here if you want. Stretch here if you like. Have a little bit of both. As you inhale, start to straighten the right leg, come all the way back up. Setting you up for triangle pose, reach your left hand forward and then down. Right hand goes up, eye gaze to follow. Right hand starts to pivot and rotate, pivots and rotates. As you do, notice that my hips have to naturally come, so let them. Find a lunge, transition off, shifting your weight forward, reaching your right foot up, drawing your head down. If you need to bend this left knee a little, do so as you start to come up. Use your core to help pull you up. So draw your tailbone down and in and pull your rib cage closer to your hip points. That'll help keep you stable. Maybe you make it all the way up. You wiggle and you wobble, but you don't fall down. There you go. Cross that right leg on top of that left thigh. Start to bend into that left knee. Sitting it a little bit lower. Always trying to get as low as you can go. How low can you go? How low can you? Just kidding. I don't dance. I just thought that was funny. Right toes hook out on the side of the left tricep. Start to shift forward so that you come into a crow pose, right? Notice how I wiggled my left toes back so that I could lean forward. Oh, maybe the foot comes up. That's about all I can do. Maybe you didn't do any of that. Maybe you're just stretching the outer right hip. Totally fine. Still good work. Start to stand all the way up. Flex your right toes. Start to bring your right heel back and up. Grab the inside shin, ankle, or foot. Stop here and get steady. Since you are at home, if you're really unbalanced, you can use a wall. Just come to the wall here and use that to help balance you. It's a nice adjustment since you might have a wall available. If you don't have a wall and you have a good friend, have them stick their hip next to yours. Anywho, where were we? We were here. Here. Reach, reach. Then up, 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 up. There you go. Something like that. Start to come all the way back down. Bring the hands to the heart center. Settle with a couple exhales. Let's take it down to the mat. Stretch it out a bit. Inhale, bring the hands up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or jump back. Find your plank pose. Shift forward, lower halfway down. 1. Straighten the arms. Exhale, lower. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, lower. Go to the knees if you need to. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, lower. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, lower. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, lower. Inhale, straighten. Draw the hips up and back. Find your down dog. Right leg lifts. Point through the toes. Exhale, draw right knee towards right elbow. Lower all the way down. A little bit of pigeon pose. Trying to make this as active as possible. Note to self, don't wear this shirt next time. The end. Self. So with pigeon, that heel closer to the body activates the pigeon more, or you can draw those toes closer towards the front of the mat. I'll have my hands out nice and wide this time. All right. For this next pose, if you laid down in your pigeon, sometimes we like to get super comfy here and just stretch. I want you to come back. Now I want you to start to tuck the left toes and then work that left knee in towards and behind the right knee. Turn your left toes to the right and your right toes to the left. You see where, look down. Feet should be on opposite sides. Sit back. Find some Gomukhasana in your life. Now maybe you don't exactly cross like this. So maybe it's better if you have more of a fire log shape, which is totally fine. They're both doing the same thing. It's just maybe your knees aren't stacking directly over your one another. As you can tell, that's how mine works. So if that doesn't work for you, this pose here, nice alternative. Notice how elevated my knee is. That also works too. Also, you could take this and put it right here between the thigh and the calf. Lots of choices. And I like to reach forward when I do that. Any one of those are going to really target this outer hip, which is where I'm shooting for right now. So, all right. If you're there, stretching, great job. Cool. Good for you. To come out of this pose, simply start to shift forward. Work that left leg back. Drop the hips down to the left side of your mat and open the legs, coming into a wide-legged seated fold. Notice that my knees are bent right here, which is totally fine. I think you get more engagement towards the inner thighs when you do it this way. Lots of us do this and do this, right? Immediately. So I want you to find the way that gives you the activation you're looking for. For some of us, it'll feel better to draw our tailbone down and round more. And for some of us, it'll feel better to be long through the spine. It's really a preference. Either way, targeting those inner thighs a bit. Slowly start to come up. Bend the knees again. Allow this right knee to drop in. Oh, 90-90 pose. Look at that. Left shin should be parallel towards the back of the mat. Shift your weight forward and work your right toes back. And you'll arrive in a pigeon on that left leg. You take this pigeon sitting up nice and tall, or of course, you can bring it on down to Sleepy Town. Whatever feels good for you. You know, we're in different times, right? All that we've got going on, all that's happening in our lives. It's really showing us what we are capable of, how creative we can be, what new things we can tap into. Before this week, there was a lot of things that we said we could never do, and now we're doing, right? Case in point. Didn't really think this was my jam, but here I am. It's got us all getting pushed out of our comfort zone, trying new things. I think that's good. I hate that it had to be so catastrophic, but I think that, as with most things, if you look hard enough, you can find the value. And immediately, that's one that I see. We're all having to learn new skills, and nothing's wrong with that. Start to work your right knee in, setting you up for Gomukhasana. Turn the right toes to the left. Wiggle your left toes to the right. Help yourself out if you need to. Sit yourself back and down. Readjust to any of the previous variations I showed that are going to target that outer left hip a bit. Option to bind the hands always in Gomukhasana and fold forward if you've got it like that. I don't have that much in my hips. They ain't going to let me do all of that. And my shoulders won't let me bind. Not yet. Not my time in my practice. So I'll stay working on my practice. Hand towels are optional if you're reaching for that bind. It's always nice. I don't happen to have one around, and I didn't bring a strap, so there's that. But if you have that, that's where it goes. Steady the breath, you steady the mind. Now's the perfect time to learn more about how to use your breath, how to use a state of mindfulness to help relieve some of the anxiety you might be feeling around certain situations. Slowly start to uncross the legs, maybe straighten them out. Windshield wiper the legs. That's always nice. And we're going to work ourselves down. Hips go forward or go towards the back of the mat. Come to lie down on the mat so that you're lying flat on your back. Hands out by the sides. Chin tucks into the chest. Keep the spine long. You can draw your feet a little closer to your hips and maybe mat's distance if that feels good for you. We're going to take bridge or wheel if you have it. I'll show you both variations so you kind of know what's next. From here, if you're taking bridge, simply lift the hips. Maybe squeegee the shoulders under a bit. Yeah. There you go. Find some elevation in your bridge. Lift up through your heart. Press your hip points up. So that's bridge. Hold your bridge if you're doing your bridge. If you're taking a wheel, hands up. Flip your fingertips towards the back of your mat. So now your elbows are up. Yep. Same idea. Lift the hips like you do in bridge. Crown of the head comes down. Stay right here. If you don't feel comfortable, if you feel comfortable, press through the arms, push your hips forward towards the front of your mat. Lift your heart up. Relax your head down. Yeah, that's fun. Take a couple of more of either one of those that feels nice for you. I want this because bridge pose, slide a block up underneath the sacrum. This is about my speed right now. I like to add a little bit of a psoas stretch. Boop. There you go. Chin tucks in, I just kind of hang out. This works better if you have a cork block. I have a foam block, so my block has a little bit of give in it. My cork block is not here. It's upstairs, but it does fit better here. I'm so tight in my front body that it helps. Any little bit helps, right? So, and that's what this practice is about. It's about small movements done over long periods of time. If you extended the legs, bring them back. Lift the hips up, draw the block out. Set that back. Pull the right knee into your chest. Extend the left leg out long. Twist to the left. Reach the right hand towards the right. Look over the right shoulder to complete your twist. Slowly come back to center. Maybe squeeze that right knee in a bit. I like to take my left forearm behind my thigh, take my hand and hook it on my right forearm, and then use that as leverage and draw my heel towards my glute. Slowly let all that go. Left leg comes down. Or right leg comes down, left knee comes in. Left goes right. Left hand reach. Slowly back to center. Bring it all the way back. Draw the left knee in. Reach the right forearm underneath. Right hand grabs left forearm and you pull everything in. Maybe the head lowers down. Squeeze. This can be intense. If you don't like all that, just grab your shin. Put a hand towel there. Use a strap. Lots of other things you can do. There's no one right way to do yoga. There's only the way that works for you today. You've just got to learn what that is. It takes time to learn that skill. Slowly bring the left leg down onto the mat. Bring the right leg up to meet it. Couple options. To end our practice, legs up the wall pose. Extend the legs up towards the ceiling. You're at home, you have wall space. Literally put your butt up against the wall and use your wall. That's always good. This is an option. If you have a shoulder stand, you can start to draw the hips up, bring the hands underneath, and work yourself into your shoulder stand. Eye gaze at your belly button. Point out through your toes. Hands on the low back. Chin tucked into the chest. Makes it a little hard to talk or breathe, but you get it. Knees down. Toes back. Plow pose. Hey, there's a block there. Bonus points if I can lift it. There you go. You don't have to do that. Now I'm just being silly. Lower all the way down. If you took a shoulder stand. Arrive in your Shavasana. Your final pose of the night. We kind of started here. So as we start to close out practice, lying here comfortably on our mats, see if you can give yourself a bit of steadiness. Allow the body to be heavy. Let your awareness open wide to everything around you. Allow a sense of equanimity and peace to enter. Listen to the sounds around you, the sound of your breath. Scan the body and feel the sensations that you have. And just allow yourself the opportunity to be one with yourself, one with the universe. Thank you for just carving out a bit of time, just a small moment for yourself, especially right now. These are the times we need to lean into the habits and the things that ground us and make us better. And there's for those of us that have a practice, there's no better thing that you can do right now than just to get deeper and closer into your yoga practice, even if you're not in your typical communities. So keep breathing, keep flowing, keep growing, keep going. Till we meet on again, Matt again. Namaste, everyone. Take as much time as you need in your Shavasana. It's your house. You have nowhere to be. So enjoy it. Thank you.